My heart is full, as I'm sure all of you feel the same way. My cup truly runneth over today. And so it is my honor, my purpose, and my privilege to stand before you today as the first black woman to ever serve in House District 146 as Texas State Representative. And I give the glory to God and to everyone who helped support me to make this happen. So before I go any further, I wanted to just take a moment. I don't think it can be said enough, ladies, today, and all the men who are out here and our allies, everyone from different races and nationalities, we so appreciate you. But it's really, really important that we take another moment. And Nisha and Candace, Nisha and Candace, Nisha and Candace, can you come on up here one more time? Yeah, I think that's a little rap, Nisha and Candace. So I wanted to tell you both how much I appreciate you. And just in a short amount of time, sometimes you guys know this as ladies, you meet another sister and just instantly you feel her spirit and her warmth and you click. The first day I walked in Candace's brand new home, I just felt like, okay, slumber party, we're gonna hang out. And we all just connected. And so I thank you for that. And I wanted to bring you something from the Texas House of Representatives. This is a certificate of recognition. This is going to honor the March for Black Women in Houston and Houston Rising. And I'm going to just take a moment before I speak on some of the other important issues. On behalf of the Texas House of Representatives, House District 146, it is my privilege to recognize the March for Black Women Houston. We appreciate and we salute the efforts of organizers Nisha Randall and Candace Weber for their vision, their voice, their courage, their creativity, and determination to hold an event as this. I support your goal for raising awareness for Black women's issues in our society. We encourage you to continue your efforts to support and sustain our families and all the issues facing us in our community. Let us gather today to celebrate, recognize, and commemorate each other.
Thank you so much.
So, ladies, I had something important I wanted to say to you today. I stayed up late last night, and I kept trying to think of specifically how I wanted to address this beautiful crowd. And there's so many important issues we're facing. And then I just thought before I put my head on the pillow, let me just write a letter to you. And it's a love letter to all of Black women out here, to my sisters. And so I just want to take a moment and read this love letter to you. And I think it's important, you all, sometime for us to write a letter to ourselves. We forget all of our accomplishments and what it takes just to wake up in the morning and keep going and keep grinding and keep shining and keep pushing despite all the obstacles we face. So I want to read some passages from this letter to you, and then I'm going to talk about some other issues. Dear Black girl, and I didn't say dear Black woman because I know that inside of us there's still a young Black girl in there that's pushing for her dreams. Dear Black girl, this is my love letter to you. Our hearts should be full, our cup runneth over, to know that you have been hand-selected by God, who poured greatness into your sun-glazed skin and your strong, sculptured bodies. I love being a Black girl, and I consider it a blessing, and I hope you do too. Dear Black girl, don't ever let anybody question or conceal your individual magic, my love. Dear Black girl, when they ask you today why you march, you may be tempted to tell them, you better ask somebody. But I tell you what, go ahead and answer that question. And you tell them that we're marching for our right to be treated equally in the workplace, to demand equal pay for equal work. We march for our right to end maternal mortality so that we no longer die in the hospital rooms when we're giving labor to our Black children. We march to demand that police officers treat our children respectfully, and we end police brutality. We march for Trayvon Martin, Jordan Edwards, Sandra Bland, speak her name. We march for our right to just be proud, phenomenal, beautiful Black women. We march for respect, to respect us at the voting polls, the power of our vote. We want the world to know that we are here. This is our moment. This is our time. Dear Black girl, always define yourself for yourself. Right now in the world with social media, we've got Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter. It's very, very easy to lose yourself in the imagery of others, in the pictures of others, to not even know if you measure up. Always remember where you come from and where you stand. Define yourself for yourself. Being yourself as a black woman is really the easiest thing you can be. But sometimes it feels like the hardest thing we can do. Stand proud knowing where you come from our ancestors. The Congresswoman talked about Barbara Jordan. You know, the more things change, the more things same. Our history, we have so much to be proud of. Right now, as I stand here, there have only been 4 black women in Houston, Texas that have served in the Texas State Legislature. That's Barbara Jordan, Representative Synfronia Thompson, Representative Alma Allen, and now Representative Shawn Thierry. What a moment in time. Dear black girl, compliment yourself and applaud yourself because we are graduating college and universities at the highest rate of any group. Did you hear that? Everything we do, we make a little sweeter, a little better, a little brighter, a little greater. We are the change. Our time is now, everyone. When I took on this issue of maternal mortality, I had no idea that it would be advanced around the nation. Honestly, it was a very personal issue to me. I had never told my story that I, too, almost was another black woman statistic. I almost died in childbirth 5 years ago giving birth to my daughter, and I wasn't sick. I didn't have high blood pressure, hypertension, diabetes, preeclampsia, eclampsia, heart disease, none of that. I almost died because of the disparities in treatment of black women in the hospital. And here I was, an educated black woman, lawyer with good health care. Imagine how it feels for those going in where they're on Medicaid and their voices are not heard. I had to advocate for myself right there on the table in the hospital room and save my own life. We are still dealing with that issue. I didn't tell anyone because, again, as a black woman, you know, we try to carry our burdens and be strong. And I was embarrassed. I didn't want to tell anyone that, oh, by the way, I almost died in there. You know, but the Lord has a way of working things out. Okay, and so I ended up seeing a report that came across my desk, and it talked about that African-American women are dying at 3 times the rate of all the other women in the state of Texas. And I knew then I had to take a stand. I had to do something. And so I put forth legislation this past session, and everyone, even though it passed, they killed it, it passed, it killed it, I brought it back, I played all 4 quarters just as we do as black women, and I'm proud to let you know that that bill was passed to study and correct and end maternal mortality in the state of Texas. So it's only the beginning. This is our time. And so, dear black girl, I'm here to tell you, dear black woman, in case you ever doubted, you are beautiful, you are bold, you fine, you stay shining, keep doing it. You make me proud, and I love you. Thank you.